So this is it.
Good.
We're on. This is. See, just starts like that, Graham. You're waiting on some mad intro and all that, aren't you?
Action.
But we've started, and this is going to be the shortest podcast ever. That's it. Thanks for coming.
That's been absolutely
There we
brilliant.
go.
It's been an absolute
Did you enjoy? Did you enjoy? Did you enjoy it, Graham?
I did. The ride out was fantastic.
Aye,
the
aye.
attempt at parking was even better.
Aye,
And
fucking.
now we're in Santa's Grotto in the summer. It's marvellous.
Is it summer? Is that what it is?
This is, well, it's kind of autumn into spring.
Aye,
Summer.
aye.
We've booked summer for July now.
Aye,
12.
it's like 10 degrees or something out there, isn't
It's
it?
as close as we might get. We never know.
I know.
Did you see Dubai had a year and a half's rain in one day?
Aye.
I saw that the airport, the runways like a mad river. Planes landing in just into water. I'm trying at
And
least.
they're not doing some thing with planes and making it rain. Is that no a thing, or is that one of the?
Aye, they call it seeding. But
Aye.
I think they said it's something like salt. They take salt up, dump it in the clouds, and it makes them rain a bit earlier.
All right.
That's how Beijing, when they had the Olympics in Beijing, and they didn't want rain in the opening ceremony, so they seeded the clouds miles down land, and the rain fell early.
That's mental, isn't it? Controlling the weather.
And it's all full of chemicals that controls us, so
Aye.
they say.
Aye. So how can they make Scotland like better weather? Can we not just seed all the clouds in England? And
No, see, I think the problem is they don't want to make Scotland good weather, because if they had good weather, we'd just be too good and everyone would come and we'd be overrun population-wise.
all right.
Know what I mean?
So this is the conspiracy episode, isn't it?
Aye,
Get your
this is the
tinfoil
good
hats.
weather. It was sunny this afternoon. I saw this one.
Was it?
Aye, it was about an hour and a half. It was taps
can't
half at
mind.
one point.
Because I was up in Coatbridge, my car
I
started.
thought you said you were
rattling.
up in court.
I was up in Coatbridge working my Just Eat job, and my car started rattling, so I came home. I didn't really notice the sun.
Actually, I should read the message that you sent me 3 minutes after you were due here. Put it here. Hold on.
Oh,
we
you
go.
picked me up for spelling mistakes here.
It says, I'm waiting on Graham picking me up. My cat is rattling.
Well, it's actually a catalytic converter that's rattling.
All right, I'm sure that's what you meant.
I can't.
Should I read the next message?
Aye.
Because it says, car.
Aye, that's because I'm correcting myself. 'Cause you can't go back and delete a message, can you?
You can on some apps, yeah. I think you can on WhatsApp. I don't think you can on
Aye.
Facebook.
Because once you send somebody a dick pic, it's gone. That's it.
That is the sad.
Sorry about that, Graham. I was drunk that night.
Got plenty of them.
My cat's rattling.
My cat's rattling.
There you go.
So this is episode what, 17.
17. So can you, Graham, sorry, pull your mic in slightly closer?
Yes, of course.
I can pull up with that.
Oh,
Like,
right.
he's very bossy. It's Chris.
It's for the quality of your product.
Yeah.
It's our product, Chris. It's not just my product.
I'm going to need to start putting my name in the tin.
Aye.
Because
No,
at the
it's
moment,
like-
the opening credits are like the bucket list with your host, Obi.
Aye.
See this episode, it's going to go Obi and Chris.
Aye. Because that's how Vic and Bob started. It was like remember Vic Reeves' Big Night Out? Mm-hmm. You're too young. You're probably like not even born. Vic Reeves' Big Night Out. It was called Vic Reeves' Big Night Out.
I know the name, Vic Reeves.
Aye, and Bob Mortimer was a sidekick. You know, he was like when they started doing the gigs in like London.
Aye.
Like it was Vic Reeves' Big Night Out, and Bob used to go to watch.
Aye.
And they ended up. So Vic used to get
Did
people.
they
up
know
st-
pester him a lot as well? He kind of stalked him for a bit. Did they know?
I'm not sure. Like, Bob stopped Vic.
The one that was not so famous stalked the one that was famous.
Aye, so Bob, I'm not sure, but he used to go and he used to get him on doing wee
I thought it
bits.
was a conspiracy theory night.
Oh, right, aye. Basically, what it was, he killed his family.
That's right.
Right.
Had nobody else to be a pal with. And he thought, Bob's always about, let's go, we'll be buddies now.
And for a while they done a show. It was just there was no audience. It was just him, they two, because he killed all the audience.
Aye.
Because he was getting other guys for the audience in as well, but he didn't want them because he loved Vic, so he killed all of them and all.
Exactly. Just like it's going to go tonight. That silence there.
So Santa Claus is going to kill me tonight. Aye.
You'll be holding a different sack by the time we get home.
This one. Hey, sexual assault and Cumbernauld.
Hate crime number one.
So that's what's going to happen. It's going to be Obi's show, but then it'll be Obi and Chris, and then you'll have actually pushed me out and do it with like somebody else. What's his name? Who's a gig?
Eddie Murphy.
Aye. So Chris will be Chris and Eddie Murphy's
Aye.
shag it list.
Eddie Murphy, of all names.
Aye. But somebody said that. I don't know.
It wasn't me, it was my brain.
Somebody said that.
Separate
So it
entity.
just came out my head.
I did.
My
Aye.
mouth actually. Part of my head.
I can see he's went mad already. I like this. This is it. I've got questions this week.
Oh,
We'll get into
no.
them.
Did you get any on the internet? I saw you put up saying, I'm going to have a podcast
Oh
with
no,
your
I
Mike.
did. Wait a minute. Aye. I did. What have I done with my phone now? Chris,
you-
where's my phone?
I'm not doing everything around here. I do enough.
I know you're at it. Like if you're watching this, the studio looks the same. But what's happening? Chris keeps putting things around the room and telling me they were always there. That there's 2 wee gnome things over there that have never been here. But
They might not have been here for every episode. I think
They've never been here, you cunt.
They were absolutely here for the
They
last
weren't they?
2 or 3 at least.
They were like Graham's
You were
never.
quite-
You said he's been here every week.
I'm always here. I'm everywhere.
He said
always in the
Graham's
corner.
been here every week. So I'm being gaslit me the cunt over there.
We've had a few episodes where I've bullied you. Now I'm gaslighting.
Exactly. This is like the 17th episode of the hate crime podcast.
Well, if we don't get a hate crime in, it's not going to get any listeners or
Oh
viewers.
shit, man! Right.
I've got these questions up that you posted if you want to.
All right. Aye. Oh, did you find them? I forgot I was doing that. There was only one question.
One
There was a couple.
question.
You've got 3 comments now.
There's 3, but 2 of them are kind of in questions.
Oh, right, they're wanting to know what they're getting for Christmas.
No. Like, in that only comedians would know.
All right.
Like, what was the first one?
Right, we've got from John Mitchell. What does he teach?
Aye, that just refers to a bit of material Graham does.
Aye.
Go say it, Graham. What do you teach?
Bastards.
Yes. That was the other one.
Another from John Mitchell. Can he burn CDs?
That's a callback
That's
to a
a
bit of material
callback,
he's been doing
aye,
for 50.
Aye. Ask John if he drinks Diet Iron Brew. That'll finish it off.
See, Chris hasn't got a clue because he's never seen your
I'm
stand-up.
just smiling along. Having a good time.
So the third question was an actual question, I
Yes,
think, wasn't it?
this is from Diane Stewart.
Oh, right.
Diane says, what did the pupils think of the stuff he was in? Did any of the parents complain?
No, the parents were actually very complimentary. I used to sit at parents' nights and they'd be saying, oh, your kid's doing this, that and the next thing like that. Never mind the kids. When you next on at comedy.
Aye,
That happened all the time.
Aye.
No, the parents were always complimentary about it. And the kids saw some stuff that got put up just recently on TikTok. One of them get 90,000 views.
Oh, yes, man. Fucking
So
Santa's went viral.
Attract some of that traffic to this podcast, right?
Aye.
And the kids were like, oh, we saw you on whatever it is they saw me. Aye, you're my best comedian, the favourite comedian in the world, and all that kind of stuff. Because I was there in front of them. But they keep saying, go tells a joke. I don't tell
Oh,
jokes.
fuck that. I hate that shit.
I don't know any jokes.
Aye.
So, no, and occasionally I think they're clever. They go like that. Graham, when they're walking past in the corridor. So I just go, aye, how you doing?
I'd rather than saying sir.
Aye.
Aye.
That's long gone. Just person that you don't say, sir, that's sexist. They might assume that I identify as a man, right, but they can't get doing that. Like,
But you should
They say
actually...
now, them.
So Graham's actually got bikini bottoms on if you can listen to his top half. So I can actually
I
see
had
him.
them on to start with, they're off now.
Aye. So I feel like a lot of people that are watching probably won't know Graham. Because
I don't know Graham.
so
I
you
don't
don't
even
know
know
Graham.
you.
Have you just ever seen Graham performing?
I've not seen you performing. I've seen your name on the forums and that, but
Aye.
that's
Aye.
I've not seen you.
So let's like who are you, Graham? so you've been on the comedy scene how long?
It's really 3 millennia now. Aye.
Is it? Like, no, I mean I've been going a wee bit longer than you, just no
Aye,
more.
it's something like 20-something years long you've been going.
So I reckon 25 years now.
Aye, I'm
so,
not as long as you.
So
No.
you are like
I'm your apprentice.
fuck off. So how did you start? I think you told me this story before. How you actually started it? Did you want to do comedy when you were younger, or
No.
you were like in your 40s when you started?
Aye, it was pure chance. I was at a well-known comedy club in the West End of Glasgow, and in those days they used to do.
I never mentioned it because they don't book me or Graham.
And they used to do a prize draw.
Right.
So the compere, June Brown.
June Brown, brilliant.
She was looking for somebody to do the draw.
Aye.
And she gave the audience the choice of 3 people, and that was one of the 3. And she said to the audience, I want him, right, me.
Aye.
So I went onto the stage and she said, so what's your name? Told her. She says, what do you do? Told her. And then she says, what do you teach? And I told her, right, and the place erupted.
Oh, did you say bastards?
Aye. So the place erupted. And she just handed me the microphone and walked away and says, you're funnier than me, here. And away she went. So I got talking to her, turned out she was an English teacher. And we got
June was, aye.
Aye,
Right.
she was an English teacher, aye. So we just got blether and she said, there's a wee, what do you call it, course going on a Sunday afternoon.
Right.
Why don't you come along?
Right.
So I thought, aye,
I think that's where I met you.
aye. Well, I wasn't going to do it, right? Because everybody else that was there was like 18, 19, 20. Watch me, man. I'm brilliant. And I was like twice the age of them all.
Aye.
Right. And I thought, I've got nothing in common with these people. But anyway, I thought, what have I got to lose? A Sunday afternoon. So I went along, did my 5 minutes, prepared it. But the tragedy which was the last day we were rehearsing in the stand. It was a Sunday afternoon, November.
Right.
He didn't get mobile or phone reception in the stand at that time. So when I came out for the stand,
You still don't, by that.
you still don't, right? Well, I came out and I got a message to say my dad just died that afternoon. So I'm like, I'm not going to do comedy. My dad's just died.
Aye.
So I went back in and I said to them, the showcase is due next week, 19th of November, I think it was. I said, I'm not be back. My dad's just died. Forget it. That's me done. So I went up to his house to do what you've got to do. And he had a calendar sitting where he sat. And he'd written Graham's debut on the calendar
Oh, shit,
for the day I was supposed to do it. And I'd never told him. I'd never said to anybody. I don't know how he got it. I don't know how it was written there.
Did you think you never give a shit or that?
Well, it was just something I was just tinkering with on a Sunday afternoon. I went along and I practiced my 5 minutes. Not that we all watched each other, just to say, you doing, Viv doing it now. I was doing it with them. And because he wrote that on, I kind of felt some kind of obligation to go and do the thing. So I went on Sunday night with his passport in my pocket and all that kind of stuff, did my Sunday night. And it was...
Oh, so you actually done the gig then?
I did it,
Right.
I did it on either the 19th or the 17th of November, 4 years ago. And the place was packed. There was about 200 folk in. It was a right good laugh. And it just kind of trundled on for there. So that's the story of how it started.
See, I've known you for 20 odd years and I only found that story out recently.
Aye.
Because we were up in, where was it, Newton Hill?
Newton Moor.
Newton Moor. So we were doing a gig in Newton Moor maybe a month ago or something like that. It was a golf club. It was a good gig. It was good fun. And so I was on first, I think. Then I was on the middle. I was in the middle. You were at the end. And you talked me that the way home. For fuck's sake, man.
Because that's where he was walking to.
The way because he was walking up there.
He was walking to Newton Moor.
Shit, man.
And died at the side of the road. So that's why I finished that gig by asking him that question. Did anybody remember it? Because it was 23, 4 years ago. Right? But there was people old enough in that room to maybe remember it. But it turns out, I don't think you get anywhere near Newton Moor. It'd been more at the Fort William end of it. But I think I spoke to my brother about it briefly since we spoke. And he didn't start from Fort William to go to Newton Moor because it's some ridiculous amount of miles. He started somewhere along the line. So my thought process on it is it's done. Right? There's nothing you can do about it. There was nothing you can do about it at the time. I came out from the rehearsal to find out my dad was dead, so there was nothing you can do. So you just have to kind of motor on. But time's passed, and when we were up there, I thought I was never going to go to Newton More in my life, but this opportunity came up. And I thought,
so you didn't want to go back to that place?
No, I'd never been to it, but I knew that's where he was walking, so I decided, nah, I'm never going to Newton More in my life. But then that opportunity came up, and I thought, let's just get over that hump, because it's been a hump for all these years. Every time I see Newton More on signs on the road, obviously it brings back a memory. And I thought, no, I'm never going there. And then that opportunity, and we thought, let's just go and make it into a laugh, and that was it. So actually it was quite cathartic. It kind of put a part of that thing to bed.
Right. So you reckon that was a wee bit of closure then?
Aye.
Fucking hell.
Aye. And it was a good night. It was a good night. There was Scotland were playing rugby that night in the Six Nations, and that's when that group at the side they were getting their phones out. And I was saying, "Hey, give me your phones out." I'm just looking at the rugby scores and that kind of stuff. And that was it.
It's just a great night, wasn't it?
It was good
just
fun.
Happened to be. It was just one of the
recent,
Aye, maybe a month, 6 weeks ago or something.
Aye, something like that.
And so Graham picked me up, went up to Newton Moor.
Aye, Newton Moor.
Was it Scotland were playing Ireland? Was it that one?
Aye, it was. Aye. I think it was. Aye.
So it's up kind of by Aviemore, isn't it?
That's right, up that direction.
I just remember because we were away that weekend as well, and we were in a wee pub for dinner in Aberfoyle, and I remember that game was on. So we were away that weekend.
That's no far away. You could have came at the gig. It was just one of the gigs. It was just perfect, wasn't it?
Aye.
It was just, it was it was just like sometimes you get to a gig, and I think when we first went in, they went, this might be a bit rough. I don't know, you had that feeling because it's a golf club and they all know each other. But as soon as, I mean, the guys that compared that were kind of running that experience, but they still done well. And it started off well. And I had a good gig. And I probably done about half an hour. You done about half an hour, 40 minutes. It was just there was no hecklers. There was some heckling, but they were nice. There was one wee guy we could rip the piss out of. There was a postman there. We ripped the piss out of a bit. But there was a shinty player who I always take the piss out of, right? And shinty's a big thing up there. So I was taking the piss out of this shinty player, but it was alright, it was cool with it. It's somebody that breaks his, by the way, he's one of the hardest cunts. Newton Moore. I was like, shit, Graham, back me up here. But it was alright, you know what I mean? That was hard as in shinty hard.
Aye, shinty hard. Shinty's a hard game to play at the best of times, aye. So, no, they took it well. They took it well. Remember a couple down the front sat the whole night with no drink? Nothing in front of them.
An older couple, aye.
Aye, a man, they were probably about my age.
Are you hate crime the bastard the fuck out of them? You hate crime the fuck out of them too. But they're loving it.
I think, well, I did a wee bit, but I think you'll find I said it's like Gogglebox Live, just you sitting there staring at me.
Aye.
Right? But they didn't have anything. Everybody else was bevied and all that kind of stuff. But this couple were just sitting there with a big, huge empty table.
Fingering one another.
Well, is that why they never clapped?
So I'll get better eyesight than you, Graham. They're sitting.
You were looking for the side.
Aye.
And that was a good night after all. Aye. Then we drove down the road. Aye, no, it was good. No, you drove.
I drove.
You drove, aye, and I drank Stella.
That's right, and the night, like, so the reason I'm having a Stella night, because what happened was my car's not working. Well, it's working, but it's rattling a wee bit. The wheel's going to fall off,
Aye.
which isn't very safe. So Graham picked me up, take him over here, and then Chris usually gives me a drink. It's usually a diet brew or one of these. And there was just can of Stella in the fridge. I went, you want that? And they went, nah, I'm not drinking. They went, it's called the fuck it list. Well, alright, fuck it. So we're having a Stella.
Played you at your own game.
You did, aye. You can do that with anything. You can come out with some heroin someday. You want some heroin? No, that's bad. I just went with the fuck it list. Aye, alright, yeah.
Stella this week, heroin next
Heroin
week.
next week. And
Does heroin have a best before date? Because I know that Stella's.
know.
Oh, you had a wee hissy fit about the
It's
date on
slightly
the Stella
out of
because it
date.
went out of date last month.
Aye, it's only 17 days by its best before.
Can I just remind you of
He said it.
what, the fuck it list?
fuck it?
Aye, so what I'm saying is, if there's anything out of date in your house, just fucking eat it.
That's it. It's best before. It's not toxic after.
Recommendation.
no.
Aye,
We're going to be in the news now. There's going to be like some wee boy that drinks
Aye,
something that's out of date and dies, and it all comes back to us.
It's your fault.
There was a joke you used to do years ago. It was like water. The water filtered through Scottish water.
Volcanic rocks for 3,000 years.
Yeah, best before November the 7th. What was that again? What was the full bit again?
Volcanic, that's what it was. Evolvic water. Filtered through volcanic rocks for 3,000 years, best before, and then you add on 2 days to whatever today's date is. 3,000 years filtering through the children's. Oh, it's going to be pitched tomorrow. So it is. I'd forgotten about that. Hold on, I'll just write that down for the set.
Aye. Do you ever find that, Graham? There's old bits of material that you've not used for years. Somebody reminds you, oh, fuck, I'll keep that going.
Aye, all the time. People go, remember you used to do that? And I'm like, no, I don't remember it at all.
Then they remind you.
Aye. Then I write it down and I forget. If I don't write it down, it's forgotten.
Aye.
That'll be forgotten by the time we get back in the car.
I'll remind you. I'm full of Stella.
You were saying recently you found a load of old notebooks. Have you gone through and found any old stuff?
Well, I'm still going through them, but what I've been doing, how I can write, I've lost a pair of glasses because I'm drunk as fuck. I loads of it. I've still got a load that I'm going to go through. What I'll do is I'll take bits. I can put things in bullet points. I don't know what you're like, but I don't write stuff down.
No.
I can't write material word for word. It just doesn't work for me. I'll just put bullet points. I'll just put a couple of words.
I've started my material trying to write it word for word because I come up with specific wee turns of phrase that I want to keep in because I find them specifically funny and I want to keep them the way they are. But sort of the more I rehearse and run a bit of material, I'll condense it into less and less bullet points to try and make it easier to remember.
All right. Because that's what I do.
Coming from this experienced comedian that's done 5 minutes in his life.
I know, he's a veteran now. So Chris done his first gig.
All right, good with that.
It was
part of his workshop.
So he done my workshop.
All right, good.
So because it's called the fuck it list, Chris, his fuck it was to do his first 5 minutes.
All right, brilliant.
And my fuck it is to do a music gig because Chris is a musician. Is to learn the guitar and
is this what the plectrum's here for?
Aye, basically, aye.
So we've got a plectrum but no guitar.
The guitar. So hey, one step at a time.
That was the first
string
lesson.
at a time, sweet.
So you can actually sing, can't you?
No.
You fucking can.
No, I can't. No.
I seen you doing karaoke one night in Dumbarton.
Do you remember?
I do remember because I was driving. I dropped you and your pal off. You were on the bevy.
That was well, bevy. I think I can sing. It's me and Taylor Swift for going in concert next year, but no. What was I singing? Shania Twain.
I wasn't that impressed.
No.
Hey, see what I did there?
So you're Brad Pitt.
I thought you were all right. I think you were entertaining.
Well,
And for karaoke, like, see, Chris is a good singer.
Rob's a good singer.
Rob's a good singer, is he?
Aye, he was good. He finished off that.
Aye.
That thing.
Aye.
Was it, where were we, Dumbarton?
Dumbarton.
Aye. Just next to the river.
That's right, aye.
I remember it.
See, like a karaoke night was full of guys like Chris and Rob, good singers. Like, they're born as fuck.
Aye.
You need a couple of fannies like me, kind of dying in their hole.
I feel quite bad going up sometimes at karaoke after somebody that's been like woeful, and I'm like, oh, folk are going to like this.
They maybe hate you. Go, you made an arse of Stevie.
Aye.
You made a cunt of Stevie. Right?
Me and Ainsley were like doing tours of the wee karaoke bars when we were on holiday last year in Gran Canaria.
Aye,
It's
aye.
like we'd pop in every night, sing a wee song off to the next one.
But do you do a wee duet like?
Aye.
What do you sing together?
Like duets, we'll do like Islands in the Stream or something.
What's that one?
Islands in the
Dolly
stream.
Parton, Kenny Rogers.
Oh, right.
What's Islands in the Stream?
I don't fuck. I'm shit with music.
We were gigging last night for the first time in ages.
Oh, were you?
Over
Good on you, man.
at Cumbernauld Theatre.
Right.
We were supporting a touring band. It was like a kind of
Oasis that come back to
their
her.
comeback tour actually isn't at Cumbernauld Theatre, if anywhere. But no, it was like a kind of folk singery girl, and she had a backing band with her. And they were alright. It was a good wee gig. But what was funny was we were backstage with them. I told you all my story about the history of being in like the primary school band and all that, right? So I've been gigging for 20 odd years. This was the first time in 20 years.
He's been gigging for the same length of time as us. He's totally 27.
We had like a proper dressing room. There was a green room, all sorts, like a real theatre for the first time in 20 years.
Aye.
This other band were like in the green room eating a curry and that, right? And you know that way, especially Scottish people have that pride of they think their local takeaway is the best one in the world.
Of course.
So they were on stage, we were sitting watching their set, and in between songs, they were like, "Oh, we've had a lovely day exploring your town." I'm like, "Don't need to pretend you've enjoyed Cumbernauld, mate. Come on."
That would come on all tunes.
And he was
Amazing architecture and that.
And then he was like, "Yes, we sampled your local curry house called Something Dreams, is it?" The guy behind me is like, "Yes, Bombay Dreams, man. That's my local."
Aye.
I love that.
That's
that
what,
pride of your
You
local.
see comedians coming in from other countries and they just mention Sucky Hall Street in Glasgow. Yes! He said it! He said it!
Up in there.
He said something that we know!
Aye, sucky holes.
No, do Graham, I'll ask you some questions, mate.
Right, okay.
Because this is actually 17 episodes, I've never actually wrote any questions yet.
Oh, right.
But I thought I'd ask you something.
Okay, right.
Very official.
Very.
They're not like...
I swear by Almighty God to tell the truth, the whole truth. And
Where
nothing
were you in March the 2nd?
but- No comment.
Right, wait a minute. I've got hundreds of glasses, right? Right. Here's just normal comedy ones. Like, so, how many gigs have you done? Like, you don't know, thousands.
It's got to be thousands.
Right,
now.
so-
Aye.
What describe your worst ever gig. Have you got a worst gig?
I've got two.
Have you got two? Right,
I've
cool.
got two top
Was
gigs.
that there? Was that any of them?
No, you weren't. No, I can tell you exactly where both of them were.
Right.
One was in Dundee. It was a housing authority gig.
A scheme.
No, it was a housing association. The workers in the housing association.
Right.
And they'd sought out me to do this corporate kind of thing.
Right.
Right, but it was a while back, and I thought I'll take Stu Who with me.
Right.
So we're guaranteed everything's going to go great. Right, so we gets there, goes on, and that starts. Right, silence, groans, silence.
Oh, at least you got a groan in there.
15 minutes. Right, 15 minutes. I'm perspiring out every pore in my body. Right,
Many years ago was this?
Oh, it'd maybe be 15 years
Right,
ago,
right.
something like that. So I said to them, this isn't going very well, ladies and gentlemen, so I think I'll cut it short there. But don't worry, I've got one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet in the country. Welcome to stage, Stu Who.
Stu Who's a legend, isn't he?
Legend,
Did
right?
you know Stu Who?
I know the name, I've not seen him.
He's for Cumbernauld.
Come on, old guy. Abraham Hull.
Aye.
That's my bit.
So Stu bounces on as he does, right? Nothing. And one guy laughed, and Stu said, I'll get you laughing one at a time, right? And I was pissing myself laughing in the sides. Nothing. Another 15 minutes of utter silence. And the director, or whatever it is, the managing director, the CEO of the company, was sitting there like that right in the front. And Stu said, do you want me just to fuck off? And she went like that, aye. Right? So by the time I
You
got
get these gigs to look forward to, Chris.
by the time I got on to say thanks very much, the mic was cut, the music was playing. They never paid us. They never paid us.
Who were they? Let's go and sort the cunts out.
Name and shame.
I actually don't know because we were booked through another company.
Right.
And they'd booked out the whole day for this association. they'd a roulette wheel and gambling and all that. They'd take them clay pigeon shooting, and they'd take them
comedian shooting.
to stare at some comedians,
Aye.
right? And it just wasn't for their taste. Somebody'd obviously seen somebody, like me. Somebody'd seen me at some point.
What do you think went wrong then? Was it? Were they,
I don't think
up their cell or?
No, I think what went wrong was the person, the CEO woman, right down the front. She was a prude. Right, she just didn't want to laugh. And
A stuck-up cow.
Sounds like it.
And maybe I used terminology that she wasn't au fait with. Right, she wasn't comfortable with what I'd said.
No, yours is all clean, Graham, all the stuff.
No, that's what I thought. I thought. Certainly in those days, it was squeaky clean. And I could see them. It's quite interesting when you see all the employees looking at the top kiddie.
Yeah.
Right, and if the top
Like she's
kiddie's
the most influential. Aye.
if they're sitting there like that, fuck you, I'm no laughing, fatty. Right, they just don't laugh.
Aye.
Nothing happens at all.
Aye, I've seen that.
And that would just permeated it. But they'd waited for her to take the lead, died my ass completely, and utter torture. And again, Stu, I thought Stu will be fine. Stu bounces off. He got one laugh for one guy, and that was it.
That's probably storming at that gig like that.
Oh, it was incredible.
Do you know, I think it's amazing? Like, I don't know if you ever got this in a music gig, Chris, like in a crowd, how one person can influence a gig that's not on stage. You know, because I done a gig in down the Ayrshire way, Barking or something, for Graham Barry.
Barking, aye.
And like I was on like Lash. I was kind of watching the gig. There's a few burlesque dancers on and stuff, and I seen one woman. I seen her negative energy fucking spreading around a table. So she was sitting at a table, and nobody was allowed to laugh.
Aye.
So somebody decided I would be starting joy, be laughing at that shite for, and that energy was spread, and you seen it fucking going from one table and spreading onto another table, and it was weird. They just seen it. So the other side of the room were having a great time, but that half of the fucking room, because of that woman's toxic energy, it was weird.
I've had a
Weird
wee
as
bit of
fuck.
that. Like in terms of music, I've seen the same kind of thing.
Aye.
We did a gig last year in a Masonic lodge, as we quite often do, because we're in with a certain crowd.
Can you tell us about it?
Tell you this bit. It wasn't actually one of their events. It was just one of the guys putting on a thing. There's a wee deed spider on the table.
Oh, is it?
It looks like it.
You'll be telling me that's been there for the last fucking. Well, just flying to the floor.
I go for it.
That's a shame. They definitely did. Oh,
I do apologise.
Sorry.
So it was like,
sorry for any vegans out there.
so it's like all country music we play, right? And it was all farmers at this event, Masonic farmers. And you sort of think, farmers, country music, they'll be into that.
Aye.
And they kind of were. It was set out, there was a kind of big dance floor rectangle in the middle. We were at the stage at the end, and the tables were all kind of round the.
Oh, aye, the
perimeter.
big gap in the middle.
Aye.
It's all right for musicians though, they're dancing, I suppose.
Well, that's the problem.
Aye.
We were playing 2 45-minute sets, so we played 45 to nothing. Nobody stood up. They're all sat there, arms crossed, just right. And I'm kind of getting to the end of my first 45, and I'm trying to bring out the crowd pleasers, the stuff they're going to like.
Aye.
Try to do some old classics, some of the new modern stuff.
Shang-a-lang, yeah.
Nobody's into anything, right? And I get to my last song of the first half, and I'm like, fuck it, nobody's enjoying anything. I'm just going to play what I want. So I just played a like current country song that I really enjoyed. And a woman at the back's like, yes, I fucking love this. She gets up, and her and her daughter get up dancing, and it actually gets the room going. And it's just because it's like they happen to listen to country radio station, and that was a big song at the time.
Her energy led the crowd.
That got them going. Then we went through to the back room for the wee kind of break, and then at that point I had loads of guys coming up to me, and in fairness, even I was saying like I'm trying to play old stuff, try to play new stuff, I've got a guy coming up shaking my hand like, oh it's good, you need to play more of that old Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, I love that. And I'm like, alright, cool. But then the next guy will come up and be like, I like that new stuff, the Luke Combs and all that, and I'm like, I'm trying to please everybody, I'm just going to do it all.
You can't.
That's it. But no, it was just, you kind of reminded me there about that woman that changed the vibe of the whole room, and then the second half of the gig was much better.
Aye, and that's totally true, isn't it?
Even though I didn't really change anything, I just played one song that they liked, and then they seemed to like the rest of it from there on.
Aye.
Once you've broke the back of it, then they'll buy into your stuff.
Because there's something like, I think it's mad. Like sometimes the gig you can't quite work out with. You're on form. If you're on a gigs, you're on good form. But sometimes the audience just on the way you, and it's like it's just that amazing how that energy. You ever seen the videos online where it's like somebody in a train starts laughing?
Aye.
And you just see everybody fucking laughing, and it's brilliant. And somebody does it deliberately. Somebody will laugh, they'll just start laughing for no reason, but then you see it spreading. I mean, see when you get a gig like that, and there's somebody with that kind of laugh,
Aye.
it's effortless.
Aye.
And It's just, I remember like doing a late night gig in Edinburgh, and it was just like the audience were just class. It was a late night gig and it was hard work sometimes because everybody's pissed with it. It was like 11:30 at night every night. But there was one night where somebody in the audience made me laugh, and I was laughing for about 10 minutes. And but they made me laugh. So everybody in the room was just laughing for 10 minutes because of something somebody said. And it was like 40 minutes in, and I was like, I better do some material now.
Aye.
It was just.
That's the beauty of stand-up comedy. When you're in an environment like that, anything can happen.
Aye.
You know, I mean, somebody falls off their seat, you can have a laugh at it. Anything can happen. You've got the beginnings of a script, and you go out and you try and talk about things, but you just don't know where it's going to go.
You just need to go with the energy, I think, don't you?
Sometimes,
you're good
aye.
at that. It's like you just gotta read the room.
Aye.
I think you do it kind of subconsciously. You just know the room. And it's like,
Aye. I had a gig last night out in Falkirk.
Aye.
Place was rammed, man. 2 people. And
all right, aye,
two
aye,
people.
aye.
And did half an hour to 2 people.
Aye, exactly.
Because they were the same age as me.
Aye,
It's
like
just-
40, 42.
That's right, aye.
Was it Alex's gig in
Aye.
That's Kenny was on last night, wasn't he?
All right. That guy Kenny.
Aye, yeah.
Was he good? Did he do all right?
I did fine, but they were obviously they were a lot newer and things like that. So
He
a
was
bit-
in the workshop with
a bit hesitant about getting involved. There's only 2 people there, and the rest were comics.
Right.
So it was a challenge. But I was on at the end, and I went on, and there's a shark hanging for the ceiling.
Aye, I seen
and it's
that.
like a boxing
Left-hand
ring.
side.
What's going on here?
Aye, you're in a boxing ring, that's
Aye,
right.
but
aye,
you've got
aye.
to make the most of it. There's no point in getting up there and going, "Oh, this isn't very good."
Aye.
There's only 2 people. Well, there's 2 people there to watch you.
Exactly.
So let's get touring.
Exactly. Aye.
Let's get touring.
I mean,
See-
some of them are like, you just got to enjoy that.
But what's the point? They're there to have a laugh, right? They're not there to go, "Oh, this is shite, this isn't Wembley. I wish there was 100,000 people watching me."
Aye.
They've stayed to watch whatever it is you're going to provide for them, so you just do your best.
So all the folk that are doing those big rooms have done all the shite gigs to 2 people.
oh,
That's
totally,
how you
aye.
get there, innit?
Aye. But I did a gig in March. It was, I think it was Rum Bungo. Right, and it's just an open mic. I was just going there because I was doing my solo shows for the Glasgow Comic. I was just trying to punt tickets,
Aye.
and there was hardly anybody there. But I thought, fuck it, I'll just go full bung.
Yeah.
And I sold 10 tickets. So I think there was 10 people there, and I sold 10 tickets.
Brilliant.
And it wasn't to everybody in the room. It was like some people bought maybe 4 and 2 and stuff.
Or there was a guy came in when I was on last night. He came in and sat down, so I just kind of got him up to speed where I was in the story, right? And then the Uber delivery guy came, he's carrying out dinner, and he walked out.
Fat, brilliant, man. Brilliant.
So I counted that as a walkout. I counted
Aye.
that. That's what I did.
So, what was your second worst gig? Is it just as bad as
It's
that
just as
one?
bad. Aye, it's just as bad. It was for Kristen Woody. It was the Toker Golf Club, and I don't remember. I think it was first or second on.
Where's the token again?
Clydebank.
Clydebank.
All right.
Up the back of Clydebank.
It's where Kevin Bridges are from, innit?
All right, right.
Aye, yeah, it is. Aye. Could you drop him off? And it was in a golf club there for Kristen Woody. Not a thing. Nothing. I mean, there was no reaction. It was as if they were all pre-programmed
Aye.
not to respond. I went on, started. Total silence.
Aye.
The entire time I was on. It was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. And I'm trying to figure out, nothing's working here at all. Not a thing. But
Aye,
it
'cause
was-
we've all got tricks to try and get a crowd going, isn't it?
no, it just didn't work. So that was one of the earliest gigs I did for Kristen. I thought guys are
How long
funny.
ago was that? Was that years ago?
That's
or-
years ago as well. It'd be 15 years ago.
So do you reckon if you'd done that same gig, they knew you'd...
I'd be fine now, I think. I would use
Do you
different
think
tactics.
it's lack of experience then? Maybe,
That-
maybe
well,
a bit more
that-
experience now. You can...
It didn't allow me option B, C, and D to try and dig it out the hole.
Aye.
But I actually think it was predetermined. It looked as if they'd planned not to laugh right? for other reasons.
Back to the conspiracy theories.
Aye. There was. I could see all the sheets. Don't laugh at this guy on the sheet. So no, I think one of the best escape artists was Stu Who again out
Aye.
in Paisley. What was it?
Escape artist.
What was the guy that ran Piero? Remember I do Piero? Did you ever do Piero's gig?
I remember it was at Hamish's house.
Aye.
I'd never done it, but I do remember it.
Right, well, I remember very early on, right? Very early on. There was a
There was a
crowd.
lot of big names done that.
Aye.
Like before, that was just before our time.
Raymond and all that started
aye.
out there. Well, we were in it. The room was busy, right? But there was 2 guys right in the middle talking over everything, right? Absolutely everything. And they just upset everybody's apple cart.
Aye.
And Stu Who went on. And he just berated the 2 of them.
Aye.
Kept on and on and on at them till eventually they turned round. And it was a brilliant night. And I thought, what a show. Not necessarily for the audience, but for us to watch him do what he did. That what we would consider, no, this isn't playable, you can't do this room. and Stu just turned it round.
Aye.
It wasn't an instant turnaround. He had to work hard and he battered it into them. Right, but his determination to make them pay attention. They could have got up and went through to the bar or something like that, but they were determined to just talk through everybody else. But the mastery that Stu brought out, he made them listen and he made them laugh. But that again, that'll be probably 15, 20 years ago.
You learn a lot from that, don't you? Back then, you kind of see guys like, holy shit.
I saw one like that. Mind I told you it was when I was working in Belfast last week.
And
I went to Lavery's Comedy Club.
Right.
When you're talking about two folk talking in the front, it was like that. There was two lassies off to the side. I think it was one of their birthdays or something. They just had normal tickets, but I don't know if you know the layout of Lavery's. It's all it's about the size of the stand in Glasgow, but it's all rows instead of the tables.
Right.
But then just the front row is like tables with 2 seats at each one. Mm-hmm. So for whatever reason, it was this girl's birthday. She'd get them upgraded tickets to get the front table.
Because it was her birthday.
Aye, but they kept talking through everyone. So like the compere did the usual sort of look. Like, you can talk and whatever to me, but when the acts are on,
shut your hole.
Aye. And they were like, all right, cool, no worries. And as it happened, next act comes on, they keep talking. They're like, fucking shut up. Next act, same thing. They keep talking through everyone. And then Shane Todd comes on. Do you know Shane Todd?
No.
Really big in Belfast at the moment. He's selling out the arenas and all that.
All right.
He's it was the day that O.J. Simpson had died.
Right.
And he comes on.
What do you mean?
Well, we've announced it here. No, that's it. Somebody in the audience, one of these girls was like, what do you mean he's died? And he was like, is this how you've heard? I'm so sorry. And then, again, they kept fucking at it. And then he was just like, going to talk way less. He put this clip on his Instagram the other day. He was like, fucking shut up. And then he goes, where's O.J. Simpson when you need him? It was fucking brilliant.
Aye. That's a good callback, like a topical callback. Aye.
Just especially because it was on the day. I was actually surprised because I'd like read it on the news 5 minutes before I went into the club, and I was like, oh, there's O.J. Simpson died. I bet somebody will do something about that.
Aye.
And he was on near the end of the night. It was him that was the first to bring it up.
I'm not sure if I've heard any comedians doing stuff
about OJ.
I'm sure there has been.
There's a couple of people saying the glove will fit soon and all that kind of stuff.
I've not seen it. The usual. I avoid topical stuff because it's always going to be the same, isn't it? There's always going to be a bit you're going to.
Everybody's doing the same thing.
You look at all the topical comedians, it's all very similar. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's hard to be.
It's always been the case. It's just the fact that you've got Twitter now. They've all got access to it.
Aye.
Because you would have gone to clubs all over the country on a night like that. And comedians would have been doing the same jokes. It's just that not everyone would have heard it.
And then you get accusations of people stealing material and all that. It's parallel thinking, mate.
Aye.
I used to do a joke about parallel thinking. Some cunt stole it. Hey,
I'm going off at a tangent then.
So what did you say?
I'm going off at a tangent then. That was a Techie Drawn reference. You're doing parallel and I'm... But no, forget it.
Perpendicular, is it?
Yeah.
All right.
Tangents are perpendicular to the edge of a circle.
Oh, right, I know what a tangent is.
Right,
Aye.
You can strike that for the podcast.
No, leave it anyway. We're trying again with the maths crowd.
I think my Uncle Gordon has started watching. If you're watching, he was a techie teacher.
All right, aye. Do you know Uncle Gordon?
Gordon, aye. There's only about 10 techie teachers left in Scotland, right? They can't get people to be techie teachers.
Really?
Aye. If you're interested and have a degree, go to Strathclyde University.
No, you're right. I seen somebody recently, a guy from Moodiesburn, was actually trained as a techie teacher late on in his career, and they said, by the way, they're looking for techie teachers now.
Aye.
So why is that? Why do you think that is?
I think, there's a number of reasons, right? I think if you've got any kind of mechanical or electrical or degree background, then there's more money to be made in industry than get into teaching.
Aye.
And teaching... People say to you, I don't know, I couldn't be a teacher, I couldn't be a teacher. You need almost infinite patience.
Oh, fuck, aye.
Because, dealing with a comedy crowd's nothing like dealing with 33 first years that are no interested in what you're trying to tell them.
That was what Grant said in the warehouse, mind. Grant was a teacher. Looked a bit like yourself, actually.
Aye.
Grant. Oh, Grant, in the warehouse. You said warehouse there.
I meant workshop.
I said warehouse, because I used to work in the warehouse. I was like, Grant, techie teacher.
Sorry, the workshop. Because he did stuff about that at the workshop, talking about like, I couldn't care less what this crowd think of me because I've done years in front of students like that.
That's right.
Aye.
So there's, it's in the news. It's been in the BBC all week about difficulties being teachers in schools nowadays. There's the pandemic certainly hasn't helped with kids' mental health. If you get into a school lately, the last time I was in one, you can see kids that are disengaged, left, right, and centre.
As you do like, a couple of days a week now.
Aye,
Because you're
they're
retired
not.
now. aren't you?
Aye, the kids they're changing their outlook on a lot of things, and there's a lot of them demotivated. You know, do you want to aspire to get a good grade? No, what's the easiest thing I can do? I just want to get through the day so I can talk to my pals.
Aye.
So
That's
I would
different.
bring back the belt personally. I know that.
That's 40 years of teaching bitterness and bringing them a bitter fuck out of them.
Aye, 1982, I think it was.
Did you
banned in
not tell
Glasgow.
me that they banned the belt just as you started being a teacher?
Aye, it was the day I started. Aye.
That's it, you never was going to fucking deal with this, Mr. Mackie.
Aye, I mean they replaced it with punishment exercises and lines and things like that, and
We had a techie teacher that used to do line auctions.
line auctions.
Aye.
Oh, right.
Quite often, if he was like, who was covering another teacher, I think the
That
first
sounds
line
as if he's
auction,
selling cocaine.
a line auction. Aye, I'll have 7, sir. No, it would be like, he would cover our English class sometimes, and he'd be like, right, read your fucking book. If I hear a peep, that's your bid for
Did
a
he
line.
swear?
Oh, aye, techie teacher, you know.
Aye.
So if there was a peep out of somebody, he'd be like, right, you're the highest bidder. If anybody else made a peep, you're the highest bidder. That's up to 20 lines. And the last person that made a fucking noise at the end of the class got whatever number he'd left on, and that was the number of lines.
Fucking hell, man.
And you used to, if they didn't do it, you doubled the lines and doubled them and things like that. So it was crazy.
Aye, and people just...
Oh, no chance. I mean,
There's people in jail still old lines 3 years ago.
it was farcical. You know, it was just nonsense. You give somebody 100 lines, not doing it. So you'd to record it, go, right, Obi didn't do his lines last week, so you see him once a week, right? You've got 200 for the morrow, you don't see him the next week, right? You didn't do 200, you get 400. Right, by that point it's War and Peace, so there's no chance of doing it.
Aye.
You send it off to some assistant Heedy or whatever it was in those days, deputy Heedy, and they would go, oh, there, Mr. Mackie, no doing his job, right? Like, they'll do 5 lines for me now and we'll call it quits. Just garbage.
Aye. That sounds like debt collection. You owe this company 1,000 lines, going, we'll take 20 to buy the debt.
I get into bother in a school one time. I put this in everybody's pigeonhole. The other teacher had pigeonholes, right? You could put information, written information. You just put it in an email now, but what happened was I put this thing in everybody's pigeonhole and I'd suggested a punishment exercise bank, right? So that kids could do punishment exercises in their own time and deposit it in the punishment exercise bank.
Right.
So they would build up a stock of exercises in the exercise bank. So if a teacher said, you're getting a punishment exercise, the kid could say, just withdraw it from my bank account because I've got 5 in it. Right? And I put it out to all the staff of the school. They all complained to the heady, this is ridiculous. The last day of school, kids will go mental because they've got punishment exercises in the punishment exercise bank. They didn't even realise it was a joke, man. So
I thought that was revolutionary there. I thought I could change the education. That might be the change we need.
But I said staff could get paid to stay in after school. They could earn money while kids sat and did punishment exercises that they hadn't done. It was like a pre-crime. Like I was ahead of ahead of the time, man.
So
Pre-crime.
that means you could like if you're planning to be a criminal, you could do some time in jail when you're a kid. I'm going to, is it alright if I go and do a couple of years in Berlin because I'm planning to murder some cunt when I'm 18?
Yeah, you could just do it now. You could go, I want to do my 14 to 20 in the jail, 6 years, and at any point you can just stab somebody.
Aye, we could be onto something,
That's already, I've done it. I've already done my time, mate. This entitles me to stab him, rob him.
And so if you're like at 3 years, I went, oh yes, I've got another stabbing in me.
Aye, that's right. Or you could steal a car, 4 years for stealing a car. I don't know, whatever it is.
Surely you get more time for stabbing somebody than stealing a car.
No in Glasgow. No, stabbing's just banter now. We stab, mate. There you go.
Right, Stevie, it's just a laugh.
It's just a wee now.
I see you. Why are you being so sensitive and bleeding all over the place?
I know. You're going to clean that up.
What do you mean it's a hate crime? It's banter, stabbing you. Right, another question.
Oh, right.
Right, so you've done the 2 worst gigs. See, I'm going blind. Right, how did you get into comedy? You kind of covered that.
Aye.
What were your favourite? Have you got a favourite gig?
A favourite gig?
Have you got a favourite gig?
Comedy wise, aye.
Because
I've only done one.
That's your favourite
Have
one.
you got a favourite gig, one that you just remember and went... See, I think it's hard to do. It's easier to remember the bad ones.
I can tell you specifically the two bad ones. I can tell you who was there. I can tell you what time I was on, how long it was.
You can tell you all the cunts and oddies what it looked like.
Absolutely. Tell you where people were sitting.
Their addresses.
Aye, the day they died. Anyway, so
But you already done your time in your past life, so it's fine.
aye, my pre-crime.
Aye.
One of the funniest things that sticks out. There's loads that stick out, but you don't. The good ones just merge into one big enormous gig. But there was one time, Anna Devitt was doing a thing on the telly, and it was a kind of competition. It was a Saturday night, and there was.
Was it the Britain's Got Talent thing she
No,
done?
no, it wasn't that. No, it was like Staying In or something. It was, I can't remember who did it, but
I think I remember that.
The Fonz was one of the judges on it.
Right, I do remember.
What
that.
happened? They did a panel, and Anna did her wee thing with her belly.
Truffle.
Truffle.
Shuffle.
She did truffle.
But she used to draw a thing in her belly and it had a wee face.
She drew a woman's face on her belly, and she rolled her belly so it sang a song. Right. So she did it live to the nation. Right, and she won that heat. So she had to come back the next week. So the next
I
week,
was on Zoom, wasn't it?
no, it was on BBC or something like that. It was 4.5 million people watched this stuff.
But she no do it on in her computer.
She did. No, that's right. She did it in her house.
Aye.
Now she must have done it on her mobile phone or something with a camera. So she did it in her house. It went to the studios, but it went out live to the nation because we did do it live. So what we'd rehearsed was these two would kiss. Right, so
you were on it, I know.
I did it the second or the third week with her.
All right.
It was the second week because she won that week. So we rehearsed this kiss. My belly would stick out and her belly would stick out, but we didn't actually rehearse it. We rehearsed what we were going to do, but we didn't actually do it. So when it came time to do the rehearsal, her belly spoke to my belly spoke to hers, and then we went to kiss. But because the bellies were too big, I sent her flying. So she disappeared off the screen, and they were pushing herself laughing. And the Fonz goes like, "That's brilliant, you're working with the homeless there in Glasgow." So that sticks out.
The Fonz said you were homeless.
Because of the way I looked at it. He's like,
because of the beard and
"You're
all
working
that."
with the homeless in Glasgow." I know that's not a Fonzie's accent, but it was funny.
I don't know what accent's that.
That's Paisley.
Paisley, it sounds like Paisley.
It's a Paisley accent.
Aye.
There was another one when we did, remember the old Scottish Comedian of the Year thing?
Aye.
It was one time we were in the O2 Academy, probably the coldest night of the year.
Aye, middle of
It's always
November.
freezing in there,
It
innit?
was absolutely Baltic, right? You'd strike a match and it would heat the place up, right? It was terrible. And the audience, there was a big enough audience, and the acts,
All with their jackets on.
Aye. Do you know who was in the judging panel that night as well? And the acts hadn't done particularly well till I got on, right? Absolutely stormed it. I was going, "Oh, big man, you're going to win, you're going to win, you're going to win, you're going to win." I said, "Well, you still got to take into account the judge's decision."
Aye.
Right, so roll forward
It
to
says they always.
what the audience think.
I
Right?
heard that night. You should have won it.
Aye. So, well, in terms of the audience, it was a catastrophic. It was clear. It was miles ahead better everybody. Rick was second.
Rick Molland.
Aye, he was second, but Roe won it. Right?
All right.
So Roe won
you
it.
come in third then?
I was third. Aye. Roe won it, and he came out and he was a bit pissed, and the audience started booing because they had nowhere near the response that I had. Right, and Roe misinterpreted what they were booing for. Right, so he was steaming, he was getting aggressive. I'm like, "No, they're not booing you, they're booing the result," sort of thing. So that one kind of sticks out in my mind.
Was Roe going crazy
At the booing, aye, because he
was he ready to kick off?
Well, he knew he hadn't done very well. He knew he deserved to win it, but because he was a bit tiddly, he didn't realise why things had turned out the way it done. But I mean, on the night the judges decided that was the order, boom, boom, boom. So that was an interesting night. So there's hundreds of others that I couldn't even pick out a word from. No, I mean, I turned up one. Somebody sent me a picture the other day. And they said, "You ever played the Artsies?" I'm like, "No, I've never been in the Artsies in my life." Right, then they sent me a poster of me on the poster in the Artsies.
Aye.
So there's been so many.
So you did play the Archies?
Aye, but I don't even remember it.
Have you played the Archies?
No, I think it was a bit after my time when it shut.
Aye. Exactly.
I think it was like I was in high school, so I was only kind of starting to gig in pubs and clubs.
It was probably shut down about 10 years ago, maybe, or was it?
Aye, that's just when I kind of was.
I should have been
started
27, are you?
gigging. Aye, so like I left school like 10 years ago. So
Yeah, well, so did Graham.
Aye. I left school
I
at
can't
4
look
o'clock.
back for the Archies. The only ever time I tried to get in when I was like 18.
Were you full of eckies?
No, I never took eckies. never took eckies or anything like that. I was just pissed.
Fair enough.
And then my mates left me.
Did they?
Cunts.
I had a night like that where I accidentally rolled down the stairs of the cat house and sort of tumbled out onto Jamaica Street. and the bouncer was... I was just went to walk back in, and the bouncer was like, I don't think so, pal. And I pulled out the wee ticket from my cloakroom ticket.
Aye.
I was like, I think you'll find a welcome back in. My jacket's in there. And he was like, I'll take that. There's your jacket. Off you go.
Aye.
You should have been drunk at the unders.
Hey, it was only last week. It was under 15s. Hey, it's the time you're left, sir.
You're clearly intoxicated. Get out.
Right, what was another question? So it's always hard that, innit, trying to remember the best gigs, because there's probably loads of them.
Aye, I'm sure. Aye, but no, there's...
What about like best moments? I know you had day two, but
best moments.
is there anything like just something that happened, like just at a stand-up gig? Because the ones you talk about, that was like on TV and stuff. Just a moment you go, holy shit, that was class.
Well, this isn't a class, but there was it was in...
Did somebody die?
No, it involves a legend that was Mac Starr,
Right.
and we were doing one in Peebles, and
The art centre.
this dog comes up and starts sniffing my balls while I'm trying to perform. And what do? Do you go try and hit it and swat it away? So that kind of sticks up as it's not a great moment, but it's just a laugh.
Your funny moments like that, don't you?
Aye.
You just have mad shit happening.
I can't think of anything that particularly stands out in the
Do you ever
positive.
remember there's a story? There was a petrol bomb like at a gig.
Oh, I know
with
the
Reg
story.
Anderson.
Aye,
Do you know the story?
Aye.
What was it again?
There was an audience member.
It was Reg Anderson, wasn't it?
Aye.
That died a couple of years ago. He was nuts, but brilliant.
Aye. Reg was crackpot, great guy. What happened was there was a guy heckling him, and Reg had kind of dealt with him, and the guy took umbrage at the way Reg had...
I might be shite, but I'm trying my best.
That's right. I don't know the clues.
was that?
Reg Anderson, like a party years ago, he was like having a bad gig.
No, I was just asking what accent that was.
I was meant to be Sunderland.
Sunderland.
Am I sounding racist again?
A
I might be shite, but I'm trying my best.
I'm half Welsh and half Indian.
So the guy went away, and he came back with a petrol bomb, and petrol bombed the gig while the gig was going on. He get to jail. The guy get to jail. He got caught for it.
He hadn't pre-served his time. Had he?
No, he could have done that when he was younger. Aye.
Some callbacks were going on here. Fucking hell.
But I remember, was it Quentin that got
Quentin Reynolds.
he got a lavy pan flung at him?
Oh, was that him? I was thinking, where did that happen?
It was Fort William. And it wasn't a lavy pan out of the toilets.
The guy brought it with him.
They brought a lavy pan. Either they brought it with them or
Or
they
they
had
found
one
it
in the
outside.
van. Like Quentin had said something and the guy didn't agree with it. Lobbed a
Did he
lavy.
hit him with it?
I don't think it hit him. No, I think we'd have known if he'd hit him.
I've been waiting to use this.
Aye. So
This is for a shite comedian for every gig he goes to.
aye, threw a lavy pan at Quentin. Aye.
Fuck's sake, man. How did the gig go after that? Did we get that gig?
I know it was shite after. No, it wasn't at it. No, it wasn't at that one. No.
So that's what, I mean, there's only, see, a lot of comedians, a lot of people who, like, when I do my workshops, they kind of go, what happens if people get violent and all that? It's a very rare occurrence, isn't it?
Very rare. Aye.
Very rare. There's one I heard, this is one in my background, I might have said this before, like Paul Perry, who was nuts, he didn't give a fuck, right, in a good way. Right, and he, like, there was a few of them doing a gig in Edinburgh, and it was full of Hibs casuals.
Right.
So it was full of Hibs casuals, like down Leith Walk somewhere.
Aye.
And I think one of the Hibs casuals was up and snogged big Scott Agnew.
Right.
And he was on stage, like forcefully, just went up and fuck's sake. And one of the guys had Paul Perry, like, well, he had the microphone. And this fucking big, mad, high B casual had Paul Perry pinned to a pool table.
Right.
But at the same time, Paul Perry wasn't giving a fuck. He was still taking the piss out of him.
Right.
So this fucking big screwball, train spotting fucking nutter was pinning at the table. Paul Perry was going, aye, but look at the state of your face, look at your big eyebrows, and fucking take the guy just went, you're fucking mental.
Aye.
And sometimes that pure bravado gets you out of situations, isn't it?
Well, you've got to be the boss. You've
Aye.
got to control the crowd from the stage, because there's no security or that kind of thing. So you've got to keep controlling.
Aye.
It's just like teaching. You've got to scan the whole room, make sure what's going on.
Right, how do you deal with that then? Like, I mean, probably stuff you've dealt with in teaching's probably been more difficult than any comedy gig you've ever done, I'd imagine.
Well, it's a kind of transferable skill, try to control them. What used to get me, and I don't know if you suffer from this, you would look out at the audience and everybody's having a great time, and you would see the one person that was sitting like that.
Some miserable cunt.
Aye. And you would go, what am I doing wrong? Like, the whole place been an uproar, and you'd be focusing on that one guy.
Aye.
I've long since forgotten about that one person. Now, see if somebody's sitting like that now, I don't even acknowledge them.
I used to be like that. I go, like, I failed for that. Like 100 people having a great time. 100 people found inner peace, fucking spiritual awakening. But one miserable cunt in the audience go, what's his problem?
Aye.
So you get tunnel vision on that person, but in your head it seems like there's a spotlight on them.
Exactly. I've seen cartoons that represent exactly that description. And you're focused on this one person. I used to focus on that one person. Now if I see them, I just carry on regardless, because I remember one time actually getting up and speaking to the person, and I approached the conversation all wrong. I said, did you not enjoy yourself tonight? And he's like, it was a great time. Right. So I was just judging a book by its cover. Right. He had a great time. He just didn't laugh out loud like everybody else. So even though you think, that person's not laughing, they're having a great time. So that was the end of me considering people's reactions. Just, well, no, we'll just go with whatever happens and let it go.
Because you probably find that, see, like, as a comedian, go to see gigs, you go to gigs and you sit up the back, and you love it. You're kind of going, he's brilliant, but you don't laugh because you're a comedian. You're kind of a more judging it.
Even the difference sitting for like watching a comedy special on the telly in your living room, you're not going to sit like laughing out loud, pure at it, as if you were in the room. You're seeing the same jokes, but you're not going to react the same necessarily. You know what I mean? That's really funny. But you're not going to piss yourself unless. But you're in the room. You're kind of, the energy's there, and I find myself over analysing more comedy that I watch now. See, now I've done a wee bit of it. I start analysing it and looking at it more technically, just than for the art that it is.
We've ruined every gig. That's what happens.
Wait till you go and get there early and watch a room fill up, and you can analyse that. The back row will be rammed before MD sits at the front.
Oh, I've been that person myself that comes in late and gets sat at the front, and I'm like, oh fuck.
That's why you should get there early.
But see if you
can scan an audience as well, can't you? Know who's going to be the dick right away, don't you?
And a heartbeat probably on the way in. But see if you watch, the laughter's generated at the front. See the people that are sitting at the back, they're observing comedy. The people that are at the front are taking part. A lot of the time the laughter is there and dissipates. So people should, to get engaged, come down the front to engage in it rather than observing it. I mean, you can see them. They're not laughing in the periphery. They're laughing down in the front. They get a better response for the people from the front. You know?
But then if it really goes well, it starts spreading.
But it still isn't as intense as the people at the front.
Right?
I don't know what the psychology of that is. The people at the back don't want to laugh out loud, or I don't know what it is. Maybe they're enjoying themselves, but the laughters can be intense there.
It's mad, isn't it? How that, how the shape of a room kind of makes it differently. It's like a rectangle room's the best, isn't it?
Mate,
rectangle where you're
in the middle of the long side of the rectangle.
Not at the end of the long end.
No, not at the short side.
I prefer to have a further spread to either side.
So
thinking of the stand in Glasgow's quite a wide room in it. Sorry, I know we were.
If you would
slagging them earlier.
No, the stand is brilliant. The stand's a great gig. So it's like, this table, so there where that kind of style is the perfect.
And back up. That's the perfect place.
Whereas the Glee in Glasgow's kind of the opposite, isn't it? That's like the kind of a longer end in the stages at the narrow side. I've only been there once.
I've only been there a couple of times, but it's probably not as good a gig. I've not done it very often, but it's probably not as good a layout.
I was there once for Frankie Boyle doing a work in progress, and I was very near the front, and as you say, you feel a bit more involved because you're right at it.
Because you're there. Have you ever done a gig and you've got two audiences in the one venue? Because I did one, must have been the week before last, right in front of me. It's about the width of this room. Nobody in front of me. An audience over there and an audience over there.
And nobody in the front?
Nobody. No, there's no space. There's no space. There's a wall in front of you. and there's 40 folk over there and 40 folk over there. And it's the weirdest thing because they're laughing and they're no. And then they're laughing and they're no. And you're trying to turn your head and you're going round in circles.
You need to sort of physically turn around and try and face.
Well, it's interesting how you deal with that dynamic. I mean, Gary was on that night.
Gary Little.
Aye, but he just kept going round in circles.
Aye.
Right? He was almost as if he was on a plate, spinning round. Just talk.
Like
talk,
a mad
talk.
lap dancer.
Aye. But he engaged the whole thing, just bringing round and round in circles.
Aye.
I did that way, then I faced that way, then I did that way, and I faced that way. Whereas Gary just kept going round just to engage it because there was people will be over there and things like that. It wasn't a particularly big crowd, but that was the way he chose to engage it. But I mean, the one I was doing, Loch Long Hotel, it was like 120 people, but there was 60 up there and 60 up there.
I think the worst sometimes is like the big dance floor, unless you got like a social club.
Classic.
And like there's seats all the way around the side,
like
and there's a big dance floor.
I was telling you about.
Aye, but with music, you expect it to be dance. Once you get them, it's cool because they're dancing.
Eventually, yeah.
But with comedy, you're kind of going, fuck, you need to kind of get and stand in the middle a wee bit. And maybe less experienced comedians will stand on stage and like, no, you need to get out there a wee bit.
You've got the size of a whole badminton court in front of you, not a soul there, and there's people spread everywhere.
No, the first time I noticed that, there was a gig I was watching a gig years ago in the Nights in Moody'sburn,
right?
And it was the same, like before I even started doing comedy, there was a whole night of comedy stuff going on, and it was alright, but then there was one wee guy who came on at the end. I couldn't even tell you who they were, but he came down and stood in the middle of the dance floor a bit, and he was the funniest, and I think it was just because he changed where he was standing, because it was all done for the stage, and it was alright, but it was kind of something missing when I noticed, oh fucking hell, this guy's good, and in my head I thought he was better, but it might not have been, it just might have been where he stood.
It's a connection between you and the audience.
Fuck, man, aye.
You know, it's a human interaction. Okay, you're kind of bossing the room, but you've got to be bossing the whole place.
The cunts.
Aye, that's right. Because if you turn around and talk to the back wall, you're still saying the same things, but people can't see your face and they can't engage with you. So no, I like to look people in the eye all over the place, try and make as much eye contact with everybody.
I done a gig like that in Edinburgh years ago. I did talk to the back wall because it was one of the gigs where nobody was listening.
Aye.
You know, and it was like a late night gig, and I didn't give a fuck. I was like, everybody was dying in their hole. I was on a bit later on. I went, there's nothing I could do here. So I just went up and just stood and actually done the gig to the wall.
Aye.
I just done my material to the wall. And the other comedians were there, they're like, let's sneak out. So they all sneaked out. Everybody just sneaked out, and I was just standing there myself because it wouldn't have made any difference to the noise in the room because nobody was listening anyway.
I remember Keir McAllister, absolute masterclass in dealing with rowdy audiences.
Right.
It was one of Nazi's gigs in the middle of nowhere in a theatre. He was last on. Goes on, but this time they're steaming. Right, no listening to anything. Keir went up and he just delivered the whole thing straight to the back wall. Bang, delivered 20 minutes worth of material. No interest in what was going on down here because it was just a distraction. It was carnage. Because it was bring your own bottle. They're all sitting round tables. They're all bevied like mad. Keir, 20 minutes, poof, straight to the back wall. Did his time. That was it, done. But it was brilliant.
The audience.
It could have been an empty stage. They didn't listen to a word they said.
Aye.
No, I'm still too reliant on a response for them.
Aye.
You know, they need to respond. Otherwise, I'm like, what's the point of being here?
But that actually makes you good as well, though, because it's like there is some comedians I've seen over the years who their material's exact same no matter what crowd they're in. You know what I mean?
Aye.
You know, and it's the exact same.
Even down to the gap they leave between.
Oh, aye. And they don't take into account what's happening in the crowd.
Yeah.
So they it's like being an actor. They've not got the fourth wall.
Mm-hmm.
So they're actually just doing a rehearsed piece of material.
Aye.
But what the audience does matters fuck all.
Delivering like a monologue type thing.
Aye. So guys like Graham, you're there having a conversation with a crowd.
Aye.
Whilst doing material as well. But
yep.
You know,
engaging with them.
And that's a skill you kind of learn. As you.
I did my first ever compere for Billy down in Irvine. I remember. I don't know. It was the late 40s, I think, when I did that one. And
Graham's been about for a while. You're the warm. That's just to keep the people happy. Well, Clydebank was getting blown to fuck.
Do you know that most of the damage was done by us at the Clydebank?
Was it?
Aye, it wasn't them dropping bombs. We were shooting armoury at the Plains from Bears Den. Right,
It was landing in Clydebank.
What goes up must come down, and it came down in Clydebank.
Fuck's sake, man.
Aye.
Friendly fire.
Aye. Stupid fire. Aye. I don't know what they thought they were going to achieve by firing up towards Clydebank. Did they think it was just going to keep going and hit Aaron? Nobody would know the
So
difference.
just blamed the planes.
Aye. Aye. Look what the Germans did. No, they never.
That was fucking Farquhar for fucking Bears Den that done that.
I saw a bell today on Facebook. I don't know if it's true or not. The Germans spent ages making up a kind of mock airfield with mock planes. It was all made out of wood and all that kind of stuff.
Aye,
Did you see it?
I've heard that story before though.
And it was to kid us on. They had a big field full of
I've heard that.
planes. And the British dropped one wooden bomb. Hello, because we'd known all along.
Cardboard.
Aye. Because we did a lot of that as well. We'd blow up tanks down in south of England. They were kid-on tanks just to make them think that they've got a lot of stuff. We better not go across there. But there was nothing.
There's probably still a lot of that going on.
God, aye.
Like kidding on, they've got nuclear bombs and that.
Aye.
don't
Well,
know.
look at it. Weapons of mass destruction. I can assure you there's weapons of mass destruction. But what happened? Did they sell them before you arrived?
Aye.
No, they were never any better.
Aye, that's just an excuse to blow them to fuck.
Aye, not that long ago they told us a pandemic. We all stayed in the house for 2 years, man.
Oh, controversial stuff
Aye.
there. Let's move on from that.
Back to the conspiracy.
Aye. Well, I mean, you can say anything on this flat earth, can't you?
As long as you don't see over the horizon, everything's fine.
Fucking hell, man.
I had a theory about the coffin industry.
The coffin industry.
Not like
Oh, back to COVID again.
no, the industry of selling coffins.
Right.
I thought a good idea to have a coffin business, right, is you just build a wee fleet of coffins, say 8, but they've got like just hinged doors on the bottom. So when you send them in behind that curtain to get cremated, the bottom just opens up, drops the person in, because you don't need to burn the coffin.
Aye, why would you burn it?
And then you just send a wee,
Recycle it.
you just send a wee van round at the end of the night to pick up the coffins, and you sell it with the next lot.
Aye.
'cause you're
How do you
burning.
know they don't do that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's my conspiracy that I've made up. I think that's what they do.
I think they should do what they do in the Himalayas. Just take all the dead bodies up the top of Ben Nevis and let the birds eat them.
Is that the day?
Aye. Because the ground's too hard to bury folk and all that kind of stuff. They just put their deed out in the...
Well, is that a real?
Aye, they just put them out in the whatever kind of birds. Well, nice.
Fair enough.
And that's probably the most eco-friendly thing to do, isn't it?
Aye. Well, it's the circle of life. Hakuna Matata.
Just if your granny dies, just drag her outside the part of the garden, front of the garden, get the pigeons and all that.
Beside the dog.
Is a dog deed or not?
Aye. It's just a
if you
tradition.
bury your
We've
dog
got
in
to
the
stick them in the ground.
Aye.
Or setting fire to them or whatever.
I know, having a whole ceremony and all that fucking
I like to.
dick pie and shit.
Aye.
Do you remember Sean Locke's bit about like people getting their ashes scattered at their favourite places? Like, I want my ashes scattered in somebody's eyes.
The fucking there you go, that's Sean Locke's eyes. I just pick somebody you hate during life. I want you to go around to fucking Big Stevie's house, flag my ashes in his eyes for shagging my bird when I was 22. Right, let's see what other questions we've got. Oh, here's one. Right, aye. This is the first time I've ever asked like actual questions I've wrote down, Chris. Isn't it?
It is. We did discuss recently asking fuck it based questions.
Oh,
we might come to that.
Aye,
after,
we'll
but
do that. No, aye, I'm going to do that for guess. So, like, describe the drunkest you've ever been. Have you ever been drunk? I'm sure you've had these stories. I don't think I've ever seen you drunk or pissed. I probably have, but I've probably pissed a
Because I'm
lot.
always driving, innit?
Aye.
So, no, it was when I was 17, Obi. I'd been to a Rod Stewart concert in the town. And
great start to any story.
Aye.
So, what age is Rod Stewart?
He's just over 300 now. Aye.
So, it's Rod Stewart's 300th birthday today. Aye.
Happy birthday. So, I'd been to a Rod Stewart concert, steaming.
Where was that back in the day?
Oh, the Apollo.
Was that don't exist anymore, does it?
No, I think it's gone. It's gone. And for some reason, I was drinking, and I can't drink to this day, vodka and fresh orange. Right? I was
That's what I'm
miraculous.
on. Vodka, fresh orange and Stella.
And
Stella and pineapple juice.
And I vaguely remember crawling along Govan Road past the Lyceum Cafe.
Right.
The Lyceum Cinema, sorry. So I've got a memory of on my hands and knees because I couldn't stand up. I don't remember how I got there from the tune. I don't remember how I got home from the tune. And that's probably about the drunkest I've been.
Aye.
There was one time
17, so you've no drank as much since then. That's 50 years ago.
I know. God, it is. Aye.
Nearly.
God, I need to get drunk again.
Fuck it, let's do it, man.
I remember the room spinning. Do you remember the
okay.
room spinning when you get pissed? Remember that shit?
It only happened a couple of times with me.
That was
maybe
horrendous.
when I was like 18. I was like, holy shit. Aye.
It's that way when you like lie down in your bed, and
Aye.
you shut your eyes and it's somehow still spinning.
Aye.
I mean, I've only had that handful of times that I remember, but not much.
It's probably because you get used to it. You go, it's no spinning at all. It's just me steaming.
Maybe that was the early
Aye.
few times being drunk.
Aye. So no, there was one time we got drunk. I damaged my ankle playing rugby up in Oban, and
It could have been something, Chris. It could have been something.
it could have been a
hooker.
Aye, I was a hooker.
Way.
The person that damaged my ankle, it was an accident. The person that damaged my ankle in the opposition, he's like, sorry about big man, have a drink, right? No, his pals, have a drink, because I was in crutches.
The opposition team were all looking after you.
I'll be odd. In rugby, it's not like football where everybody hates each other.
Aye.
As soon as the final whistle goes, you go, big man, that was great, all that kind of stuff.
Come off with black eyes and shit.
That's right. And it was all just kind of, sorry, I broke your leg, that sort of thing. Have a can of beer, right? So I got steaming and I had crutches, but I forgot I'd hurt my ankle, right? And I went to walk off the bus at Govan Cross, right? We came back down the road in a bus, and I went to walk off the bus, bang! I ended up in the hospital steaming, right? Because I'd been steaming, I'd forgotten I hurt myself, right? And I'd been drunk all the way down the road for Oban, and then I went to walk off and wallop, man. So I think it was my left ankle, and it didn't break it. I must have twisted it or something.
Aye.
But it was really, really sore. But that's about anything else. No, the
To be
rest.
quite well behaved.
Aye.
The
rest happened for broadcast.
I think you need to say that. There's stuff that you can tell me the way back in the car there, right?
Absolutely.
We'll do that for outtakes. I'll record at the motor.
Aye. No, I mean, I used to love drinking. I really did.
Do you not drink as much these days, or?
No, because I'm always driving.
I'm the same. I don't sit with a Stella now, but I don't drink much.
Aye, no, because I mean, you can't even have half a pint. You're over a limit. So
Aye.
I don't see the point of having a pint or half a pint if you're going to be driving. What's the point? Just have nothing, and when you get home, you get a can in the house if you like, or a bottle of wine or whatever. So no, I just don't do it. That's it. No, in the house, I don't even drink all that much in the house.
Nah, there they are.
No.
The only time I really drink a lot is loads is Edinburgh Festival.
Aye.
You know, there's like because it's a party for a month for me. I see a load of guys that only see once a year, and just a mad party.
Aye. But you're not driving
Jager
there,
bomb
so
nights
you've
and
not
shit.
got any responsibility other than to stay vertical.
Nah.
Right? And if you fall, well, it's not that far.
All right. Aye.
I mean, you're in Edinburgh, you're going to tumble for about a week.
That's right.
But I think with Edinburgh, you fall downstairs, but all of a sudden you're back up the hill again because it's like that painting. What's it like? What's up?
I know what you mean.
I don't know the
The
name.
guy with the stairs are going down, but they're also going up. No, that is fucked up. Esher or something.
I don't know it.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do. Aye.
Aye. Right.
So no, as I say, I used to drink a lot, but not so much.
Aye, so all your stories about that are kind of unbroadcastable.
Yeah.
Alright, fair enough. Aye.
I probably I don't even remember most of them. I mean, I used to get miraculous. Aye. But just beer.
I went on a killing spree one night.
Did you?
No, I didn't.
Who's not been on a killing spree?
Aye, I fucking aye. Right, so we're going to do fuck it, aren't we?
Aye.
So see, if you had a fuck it list,
Right.
not shagging and that, you can have shagging if you want. If you maybe had like 5 things today before you snuffed
the
it.
top of the list. The 2 things that I would say stand out for me. Aurora Borealis. I'd love to see that. Right.
Apparently they were in a local the other night there.
It was cloudy.
Aye. I've
That's
never
the
seen
problem.
it. I've never seen it. I've never
Like
seen
go
it.
to Iceland or something like that. Or
Something
Norway.
like that. But I don't know if you can predict. You could go for a week.
You can. Aye. So I think you can. There's an app on your phones you can get. It tells you roughly. This is we kind of It might.
To an extent, you can predict, but then you need to know about the cloud cover and top of that, which is a bit more unpredictable. But because like obviously in the north of Scotland, they say you can see it on a clear night sometimes.
I'm sure you can. Aye, and I know people that were up in a place called Gairloch, maybe about a month or so ago, and they saw it. Right, and I had the opportunity to go with them, but I was busy. It was a weekend, so I was busy.
It's right, go somewhere that's dead dark. There's probably too much light.
Well, I think it's when you see them, they're bright enough. You're probably going to be in a place where it's dark anyway.
Because apparently somebody in Moodiesburn took a photograph in Moodiesburn the other day there and got a decent view. But it's obviously not going to be the same kind of level as seen up in the north of Scotland because you've got the light pollution. But you know,
so I would like to see that. I definitely would
proper like a good like dark night somewhere.
Somewhere up north. Yep.
From an igloo in Greenland or something.
You have to do that. Do the next few weeks. Keep an eye on it. You could probably just drive up north with the missus.
Possibly. I'll get the sleigh out and off we go.
Hey, you made a Santa reference. We've stayed away from that.
That's an hour before we say that. And the other thing would be to go gliding, right?
What, hand gliding?
No, in a glider.
All right.
But I'm like 7 stone too heavy.
Have you looked at that then?
Aye, 16.5 stones, the heaviest. They'll let you go up in a glider. That's the heaviest weight.
Are you on a mission to lose enough weight to do that?
In my head, but in my other part of my head, it's
do you like steak too much?
It's like everything too much. I'm afraid. Another thing would be to lose weight, but I remember when I started work 40 odd year ago, I was 14 stone.
Aye.
And I thought that was horrendous. And I tried, and I'm 10 stone heavier now than I was then. And I felt hellish then. So in my head, I'm much more hellish than I am in those days. But you delude yourself and you think, right, tomorrow, and it never happens.
See, I know I'm not heavy, but I'm like 13.5 stone. That's the heaviest I've been. And I feel kind of...
Right.
As if I'm kind of big, but that's just fucking psychology, innit?
My doctor sent me to Slimming World, or gave me the opportunity to go to Slimming World. I went along, and the first week I was slimmer of the week. 8 pound I lost, right? And that was the last day I lost weight. And see, since then,
when was that?
4 months ago, 5 months ago.
Because I remember I seen you like last year and you lost a wee bit.
I went down to 18.5 stone.
Aye.
So I put on like 5 stone since then.
Shit.
And it must be a mental illness. It's got to be that I kind of get a handle on. I kind of get a handle on it. That would be, above all, would be to do that. Because I remember when I went to my doctors in Barhead, first time I went in to see the doctor, before I even get through the door, he looked at me and he went like, "Oh, your longevity's not going to be good." That was his opening gambit.
That's a bit of...
I said, "When did you give up your job in the diplomatic corps, doctor?" So I said to the nurses, I says, "He's a bit near the bone, as you know." I says, "What does he like to talk about other than me being too fat? Talk about Hibs. Just talk about Hibs. He'll talk about it all day." So next time,
we see the Hibs casual at Paul Perry on the table years ago.
Next time, and I says, "Oh, Hibs didn't do too well at the weekend. Never even talked about my medical situation. I know, bloody terrible referees, blah blah blah."
Give you a
blah.
bag of crisps.
Here, have a sponge, Mr. Mackie. Sit down. I'll tell you about Hibs. Hibs. Aye, those proclaimers.
I would bought 500 bells, but you wouldn't unless you lose a few stones.
So no, I think that that's maybe the top 3 things: lose weight, see the aurora, and go gliding. I just always fancied the gliding thing.
See, I'd like to do that. I know. Remember Billy Bonkers?
Oh God, aye.
He used to be a hang glider.
Aye.
Did you know that?
Aye.
There's a guy, Billy Bonkers, he's well before your time, who ran like probably the comedy club in Glasgow before the Stand and all that.
Right.
He was a hang glider.
The State Bar.
State Bar.
Aye.
Great wee club, innit?
Do you remember the State Bar in its heyday?
It was brilliant.
The State Bar was a small, pretty much rectangular room, stairs down to it.
The big throne in the corner.
That's right. It was so popular. People would sit on the stairs to be part of the crowd. It was rammed, absolutely rammed.
The Stand could have killed it, didn't it?
Well, the Stand came in and just it decimated everything. Yeah. But what's his name? Blackfriars is kind of...
It's on the up again,
Aye.
Yeah, Blackfriars and Mackie's Bar in Queen Street.
I like Mackie's Bar.
Aye. Yeah.
Although I get cancelled last week for was it one last week they get cancelled?
Aye, well, that'll not be happening again. It'll be on full go.
Aye, cool, aye.
Yep.
I'm still crying. She's saying, I only brought you here to kind of pull you up. That's just part of comedy.
I've got tissues. Aye. Okay, it is. These things happen.
And that's a great wee room, and all Max's is a great wee room.
Aye.
Are you in there, Chris?
No, I've not been in.
That's a good wee gig, so Graham's going to be running a regular.
Aye,
Is it every week now? Yeah?
Aye, Saturday night starts on the 27th of April.
So
Every
that's it
Saturday.
officially kind of launched then, because so what happened? How did it get cancelled? It just
It was the Blackfriars get cancelled the same night ours get cancelled.
That's right, aye.
It was directly after the comedy festival. It was the first
Right.
Saturday after the comedy
so just a
festival.
bit of a lull there.
People weren't buying tickets for anything.
Ah,
that
right,
night.
right.
So that was it. So 27th of April, full guns blazing. Yep.
Right. How's our time, Chris? Is that we've done quite a lot?
Hour and 20. Aye.
All right, aye. I seen you looking at the phone there. I was going to associate Chris's wee things like our phone's running out of charge and all that.
No, they're plugged in. I'm just making sure they're still recording.
Aye, that's cool. Aye. So any like any other fuckets? Is that your main ones? Like, just pick a mad one, like just a fucking mental one.
A mad one. I'd like to get elected to be First Minister
Aye.
of Scotland, and I would change some laws.
What laws would you change?
What would I change? I would change the drink laws. I would say pubs open all the time.
Right.
Right. I would say just drink whatever you want, because I think, see this, you end now. Right. You've been in here all
Oh
day.
fuck, aye, man.
right?
Aye.
But you've got to stop drinking now.
Aye.
Right.
That's where it goes wrong, isn't it?
That's where it all goes wrong. Right. Let them drink. Change the dynamics around it. Change the dynamics completely, so that it might make difficulty for the industry staffing the thing, right? But if people could just come in, do what they want to do, sit and blether, and eventually go, right, that's it, we're going up the road. Right? You don't go out into the street team-handed. Right? You go.
That's true.
You
aye.
just go, right,
That's what fights in kebab shops and shit are happening, because everybody's out at the same time.
yeah.
I think is Berlin no like that? Is I know that apparently, like I was in Berlin a few years ago and there was a pub in it. And somebody was telling me about, you just meet the locals and that, and said there's a pub there that opened years ago. Somebody lost the keys, so they just stay open all the time.
Aye,
and I think it's allowed.
Aye, well, we were in Marseille there last summer, and the hotel we were staying on, it was up a hill. So we'd been out drinking and whatnot, and we come back round the corner to go up the hill to the hotel. And there was a pub right on the corner. So we just said, well, we got a pint before we go up the road. So we're just sitting blethering. And the guy says, I need to get you inside now. It's 2:00 in the morning.
Aye.
Right, go to let the neighbours sleep. Right.
Bring the neighbours too. Meet other neighbours.
And that was the regulations. At 2:00 you had to go inside. Right. But you could drink to whenever you felt like
Where
it.
was that again?
Marseille.
All right.
That sounds like some of those mad COVID rules. That you need to book in and you need to order a pizza if you want a pint.
There's like 3, you're not allowed to lick your mate's face.
Aye, and you can't take your dog out in the mountains for a walk. Remember that selling up? Was it a drone they sent up to catch that guy? Do you remember that one?
So did that happen?
Oh,
Aye.
it was down in England. It was away out in some moor. Right, the nearest person was about like 40 miles away. Him and out his dog in the police caught him on a drone.
Was this when you were allowed
Shot his
30
dog.
minutes of government
Something
mandated
like-
exercise?
Aye, they gunned his dog down.
He went over his limit, did he?
Remember the night Johnston said, I recommend you don't go to the pub this evening. They immediately cut to his dad and they said to his dad, are you going to go to the pub tonight? Damn tootin', I'm going to go to the pub tonight.
Aye.
So there's the Prime Minister
I know.
giving the advice, and his dad just undermined him 10 seconds later. You know, and then we're banning all flights back from wherever the hell they're banning from at 4:00 in the morning. Right? If they were serious to go, they're banning from now. That's it, done.
Aye.
Right? And they're having parties.
I was going to say, cut to him doing lines after the fucking chairs in the House of Commons. isn't it?
Aye, exactly.
Keep your lines 2 metres apart from your partner's lines.
Aye. There were no rules broken in number 10. Is that right, mate?
Aye, I know.
Taking shots at each other's belly buttons and that.
No,
That's
terrible.
mad. It's mad. Anyway, I think. And the plug, Graham, you want to plug in?
Plug.
So you've got your gigs, when your Maxie's bar and all that. So,
Maxie's, yeah.
so that's got to be once a week.
Aye, every Saturday night.
Am I booked again for that?
Yeah, will be, yes.
That sounded a bit passive aggressive.
No, I'm doing your Helensburgh next month.
In May. Aye, the advert for that will be out for Saturday. Aye, so
when are they? Tell me. So the Mackie's bar is on the 27th
of April.
April, the first one.
Yeah, and then it's every Saturday thereafter.
Every Saturday, and it's a brilliant wee room.
Aye.
It's like 50 or 60 or something like
we
that.
can cram 60 in.
And it's just a perfect wee room for comedy, isn't it? That's worth going to.
With a great wee backdrop. Aye, the wee cran and the...
Aye, it's lovely. Because I've done a few gigs there during the festival.
Wee neon sign. No, it's going to be good.
It's good, aye.
And when that grows, there's another room that can be used. Room 2, it's called. It can take 100.
Well, and Maxie's?
No, it's round the corner. But it's the same chain.
The same guys that own it?
Yep.
All right, cool.
So... Maxie's is the starting point, and then it'll
so now that Graham's retired for teaching a couple of days a week,
aye,
he's taking over the comedy world.
Absolutely, aye.
The promotion and get you your next gigs as well, Chris.
I'm looking to start again soon, working on a few wee bits of material. So
you're going to do the Falkirk one.
I was going to get in touch with Alex.
Aye, cool.
Look at that one and see where else is going, and then we've got the next workshop in June.
Aye, he's coming along and all. I'll get my finger out and get my guitar learned.
I'm ready for my second go, and you've had one guitar lesson.
No. I've let you doing. I've let Graham doing. I've let everybody, my family doing.
You've not even finished your can of beer.
I've not even finished my can of beer and my.
Get it down.
Down it. Can somebody phone an ambulance?
I got you there, fish live in here.
Who's going to carry the boat?
Don't mention boats. I need a pish there.
So I was going to ask, can people find you on social media?
Okay, they can find me. Graham Mackie. That's it. Just search for Graham Mackie.
There you go, Graham Mackie. I'll put a link
He's
in.
65. He's like, what the fuck is TikTok?
TikTok. I think TikTok seems to be the thing
to
get into.
I'm posting a lot on that now.
Aye.
Instagram. And if anybody, this is what day? April.
Aye,
so if anybody wants anything for Christmas, get your letters in early because they start getting sent in the new.
Absolutely. Especially, tell me what colour of bike you want, right? Just let us know what colour, what style. If you want stabilisers or not.
Aye. What about what about poor parents? What you doing for them this year? How come like your magic and you fly around the world? How come you give poor kids like shit presents?
Because they deserve it. They haven't worked hard enough to get good presents.
Because our parents, let's karma for their parents, their ancestry.
I'll tell you a belter, a Santa story before we go.
Right.
I was through in Balerno. I was sitting in a throne. Balerno. Just southwest of Edinburgh. And I'm sitting there in my throne, Santa suit on, full pelt. And
doing an actual Santa
I was doing a Santa. It was a Saturday morning. It was a church fete. And I'm talking about the kids, just the usual, you've been good all year, kept your room tidy, done your dishes, all the usual lies that they tell you.
Have you ever tried burning a CD?
Never tried burning a CD. They're like, CD, what are you talking about, mate? I download everything. Get yourself Spotify, your most jokes are out of date. So I spoke to this wee lassie, you've been a good girl, blah, 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 all that stuff. I said, what do you want for Christmas? The usual unicorn, all that kind of thing.
Aye.
So I said to the wee boy, he had his rugby top on, I said, you've been a good boy, blah, blah, blah. I said, what would you like for Christmas? And he looked me dead in the eye and said, I would like new parents, please. Right? So I did what you two did, right? I started laughing. I fell off the throne, broke the arm of the throne. I'm lying upside down. Then I looked up, the wee lassie was in tears, right? Because she thought Santa was buying into this new parents thing. And I had to backtrack and all that kind of stuff. And then the daddy explained that on the way in the car, him and his son had a bit of a fallout. That's why it was. It wasn't a hostage situation or anything like that, right? That was brilliant.
So did you get him new parents?
I got him new parents. Aye. He's out in the motor waiting.
Did you get to call his old parents or that year?
No, I just left him in New York. He was home alone.
I thought you were going to take that the direction of like she was a wee foster child waiting to be adopted.
I know. That was another story. That's too sad to tell into that one.
We'll get that next time.
Aye, that was a sad story for the wee boys.
So we'll finish there. That's a good finish, isn't it? Get your questions in for Santa Claus. Get your letters in.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
No problem. That's been a laugh.
That's been fun, isn't it? Episode 17 is done. Follow us on all the channels. Chris will put the things on
YouTube, Instagram,
TikTok, fucking
tell your
Spotify.
friends.
Tell your friends. Comment and all, because nobody comments.
Send us a letter. North Pole.
Cameroon to come along for a can of Stella. See, I'm getting aggressive now because I've had a can of Stella. Fuck you looking at, you prick. You looking at Santa's a fucking. Where's my bike, you cunt? Right, anyway,
Wife beater Obi. Here he is.
I've not got a wife to beat, so I need to go and batter a neighbour. There's an old woman who lives next door to me. I would just open the door and punch her in the fucking face.
Right, I think we'll end the episode.
Cheers.
See you later.
Good night, everybody.